A court remembers the man who can go still, while others rush to fill the air. It also remembers the fool who copies the pose without inheriting the gravity beneath it. The difference decides who is obeyed and who is quietly abandoned. In Kurosawa's Ran, silence is architectural. Cedar beams hold the dark above kneeling retainers. Lacquer catches one line of light, and every pause lengthens like a drawn bow. They wait to learn whose stillness the room serves. Outside, wind moves through tall grass, and war banners breathe against a gray sky. Inside, the chambers are measured and ceremonial, almost devotional. That contrast matters. Calm in a storm can read as command. Calm in shelter can read as indifference. And someone else pays. Hidetora Ichimonji enters as an old warlord accustomed to obedience hardening before it is spoken. Yet history still surrounds him like armor. His sons depend on that history for legitimacy. They also fear becoming minor characters in their father's shadow. Taro, Jiro, and Saburo want different futures, though each requires the father's name. Taro wants succession without friction. Jiro wants advantage without open sacrilege. Saburo wants honesty, which courts treat as insolence, when ceremony has become more valuable than truth. Lady Katie wants something colder. She has learned that blunt force is remembered, while composure enters the room disguised as reason. Her restraint is strategic, though strategy stains the strategist. The household, the servants, and the dead beneath prior conquests bear the cost first. This is the structural hinge. Stillness dominates only when the room has already priced interruption as dangerous. Clausewitz understood friction in war. Courts have their own version. Speech carries risk unevenly. The lesser man explains himself. The secure man can let others spend words. Many men misread that pattern because they study the visible surface. They see the pause and miss the ledger beneath it. Silence is expensive. If no reputation, office, competence, or loyalty bankrolls it, the cost lands on trust, and trust rarely returns intact. Machiavelli wrote of appearances because courts reward surfaces before they verify substance. Yet appearance decays when unsupported. A prince may delay speech and appear formidable. An insecure heir who does the same appears vacant. His subordinates pay through confusion, then he pays through erosion. Arendt noticed that authority declines when institutions hollow out and ritual remains. Then silence changes meaning. It no longer signals settled command. It signals absence at the center. Rooms become louder in response, and the bill is handed to clerks, soldiers, children, and anyone unshielded. Hidetora attempts division of power while preserving deference to himself. He sits in composure, expecting the old geometry to hold. Saburo breaks the script by naming the fragility aloud. The father's stillness then ceases to be majestic. It becomes a refusal to examine consequence. Saburo speaks plainly because someone must. The court interprets plainness as aggression because ceremony has trained them to fear disturbance more than error. Hidetora answers with banishment. That decision protects his immediate dignity. His house, his retainers, and the peasantry beneath the coming war absorb the damage. Later, Jiro and Kaede understand a harsher arithmetic. A shaken patriarch still carries symbolic weight, so direct frenzy would expose weakness. They proceed with measured calm, each pause forcing others to reveal themselves first. Pure leverage. The price is paid by those tracked between rival obediences. The stillest figure in such a room is often the one with alternatives. He can wait because hunger does not press him yet. She can pause because another alliance, another corridor, another witness exists. Those without alternatives imitate the quiet and are mistaken for passive debris. Who pays for counterfeit stillness? First, the allies who need clarity and receive theater instead. Then the speaker himself, whose interior life calcifies around performance. Iris Murdoch wrote that unselfing is rare. Posed calm does the reverse. It makes the self thicker, poorer, and less accurate. Hidetora pays in madness because his authority was sustained by fear long after trust had decayed. His sons pay in treachery because they learned inheritance inside a house where dominance replaced judgment. Villagers pay in fire. Servants pay in anonymity. History records banners and omits ashes. Lady Kaede pays too. Though the films of power rarely linger there, composure gives her range inside a brutal order, yet revenge hollows the vessel carrying it. Admirers of cold strategy skip this part. The strategist often wins the scene and loses the remaining country of the soul. The pattern persists in modern rooms. A manager goes silent and calls it presence. A partner withdraws and calls it steadiness. A politician waits through scandal and calls it discipline. Sometimes, the room rewards this. Often, colleagues, families, and institutions pay for ambiguity mistaken as command. Years of watching have taught me something dry. The calmest person in the room is not always strongest. Sometimes he is simply least exposed. Real steadiness usually clarifies. Performed stillness obscures. The room knows the difference before language catches up, though it may obey anyway. Study the structure before admiring the posture. Ask what makes the silence legible. What keeps dissent costly and whose life is made smaller so one figure can appear composed. Until next time.